About 2 months into my calisthenics transformation, something weird started happening. I wasn't just getting stronger, I had way more energy throughout the day. Like I would wake up actually feeling rested, I had better focus, my mood was better, and honestly, I had more confidence as well. At first I thought, okay, I'm just getting in better shape, so of course I feel better. But it was way more than that. And it turns out the way I was training, that it's scientifically proven to optimize testosterone levels naturally, and that explains everything I was experiencing. Now look, I'm not a scientist and I never got my testosterone levels tested or anything, but the energy boost and the confidence, the overall feeling, that's undeniable. And when I dug into the research, it all made sense. So today I'm breaking down the exact 4 exercises, the training strategy that keeps my intensity maxed out, and the lifestyle factors that made it all stick. So let's get right into it. Quick context, I'm 11 months into my transformation now. I started in January and it's now mid-November. I lost 30 pounds, went from 0 pull-ups all the way to 10 pull-ups in the first 9 months, completely changed my body composition, but the physical changes, they were almost secondary to how much better I felt mentally and energetically. And here's the thing, I'm 31, so I'm at the age where a lot of guys start feeling slower or less motivated, like lower energy overall. And the conventional advice is, well, that's just aging. When you are getting older, that just happens. But I accidentally stumbled onto something way simpler than that. 4 bodyweight exercises with minimal equipment, a pull-up bar, dip bars, and maybe gym rings, done consistently 3 to 5 times per week, and that naturally optimizes your hormones. No supplements, no weird biohacks or anything, just movements that work with your body's natural systems. And when I started researching this, I found actual studies backing up what I experienced. So let me show you the exercises and the training approach I use first, and then I'll explain the science behind why this works. Alright, exercise number 1, pull-ups. And this was my biggest strength gain during the transformation. I went from literally 0 pull-ups to being able to bang out 10 clean reps in 9 months using my pull-up bar at home. And here's why pull-ups are so powerful for energy and hormones. They are what's called a compound movement. And that just simply means they engage multiple large muscle groups all at once. So you're hitting your back, your biceps, your core stabilizers, and even your grip strength all in one simple movement. And here's where the science gets interesting about all of this. The research shows that compound exercises like pull-ups produce up to 20% higher testosterone responses compared to isolation exercises. And that is because you're engaging more total muscle mass, and your body responds by releasing more hormones to support that work. So when I was grinding out pull-up progressions, I was not just building my back, I was literally signaling my body to optimize hormone production. But here's the training approach I stumbled onto, and it's rather unconventional to be fair. Most people start easy and progress harder, and I do the complete opposite of that. I start with movements I literally cannot do yet, and then I work backwards to easier variations until I hit complete failure. And here's what an intensity day pull-up session looks like for me. First, I attempt full pull-ups, even if I can only get 1 to 2 reps or none at all. Second, when I fail, I immediately switch to negative pull-ups. I jump up, lower slowly for 5 seconds, descend. And third, when negatives fail, I do dead hangs until my grip gives out completely and I cannot even hang from the bar anymore. And this approach keeps my intensity maxed out the entire session. I'm always training at the edge of my capabilities, pushing into movements I cannot fully do yet. And that is exactly what triggers the hormonal response. And then there's volume days, and I do a different approach here. I pick one progression level I can actually do, like regular pull-ups, and I do as many sets to failure as I possibly can without dropping to easier variations. I just do pure volume at that one level until I'm completely spent. And here's a key detail I learned after my transformation. Rest periods matter. Studies show that taking 2 minutes rest between sets produces better testosterone to cortisol ratios than rushing through with 60 seconds rest or even less than that. And this backward progression approach keeps you in this high intensity zone that research shows is critical for hormone optimization. Exercise number 2, push-ups and dips, and these became my go-to for building chest, shoulders and triceps. And I use my dip bars for dips, and push-ups I can just do them anywhere. And just like pull-ups, these are compound movements that engage multiple muscle groups. And now here's what the research shows, and this blew my mind when I found out. There was a study on men doing calisthenic programs with push-up variations, and they found significant improvements in baseline testosterone levels across different age groups Not just like a temporary spike during the workout, but actual sustained hormonal benefits over time. And that explains why I felt consistently more energetic and not just right after the workout. My body was adapting to the training stimulus by optimizing hormones production long term. The same backwards approach I use for push days. On intensity days, I use the same strategy. First, I attempt the hardest push-up variation I can barely do, handstand push-ups or decline push-ups. Second, when I fail, I drop to regular push-ups, even if I can do only negatives at that point because I don't have strength left. Third, when regular push-ups fail, I switch to knee push-ups, again doing negatives if that's all I can manage at that point. And fourth, I keep going until I literally cannot lower myself in any of those variations anymore. For dips on my dip bars, I use the same concept, it's just a bit different here. I start with full dips to failure and I end the exercise with static holds at the top until my arms give out. And if these things get too easy, you can also always just use a weighted vest to mimic a harder progression by just simply putting more weight on yourself. On volume days, I pick one variation and those ones are usually regular push-ups, and I just hammer sets until total failure, as many rounds as I can possibly do without changing the progression. And the only key here is intensity. You want to be working hard, pushing into movements you cannot fully control yet, and that is exactly what triggers the hormonal response. Research shows moderate to high intensity training is what produces those testosterone increases, and this training strategy keeps you in that zone the entire workout. Exercise number 3, squats and leg work, and honestly this is probably the most important one for testosterone optimization. Your legs contain the largest muscle groups in your entire body, quads, hamstrings and glutes, and these are massive muscles, and when you train them hard, your body releases hormones to support that work. The research backs this up as well. Studies show that lower compound movements trigger the largest hormonal release because they engage the most total muscle mass, and it's actually pretty simple math. More muscles are working and that means more hormonal response of your body. But here's the other benefit I didn't expect. These exercises also decrease cortisol at the same time, which is your stress hormone. So you're not just increasing testosterone, but you're also lowering the hormone that makes you feel anxious and tired. And that's basically a double win. Here's how I train legs with the same approach. I do one leg squats, but here's the thing, I cannot actually do full pistol squats yet, so I use assistance. On intensity days, first I attempt one leg squats holding onto a door frame for minimal support. Second, when that fails, I use my dip bars for a lot more assistance. And third, when even assisted one leg squats fail, I do regular 2 leg squats to complete failure. And I'm literally starting with a movement I cannot do, using assistance to make attempts, and then working backwards to easier variations. And this keeps my legs under maximum tension the entire session. On volume days, I pick one level that would be the most fun in that day, maybe assisted one leg squats, and just do maximum sets at that progression until I'm completely done. And that explains why I felt so much calmer and more focused during my transformation. I thought it was just because I was exercising in general, but it was specifically these movements optimizing my hormonal balance, increasing testosterone while lowering cortisol. Exercise number 4, core exercises. Now I'll be honest, they are probably not directly boosting testosterone like the other 3. And that is because core muscles are relatively small compared to your back, chest and legs. And the research shows that testosterone rises primarily with compound exercises engaging large muscle groups. But, and this is important, core strength supports everything else. Your core stabilizes you during pull-ups, dips and one leg squats. And the weak core means that you will not be able to push as hard on the exercises that actually do boost testosterone. So while my core work isn't directly triggering hormonal response, it's actually enhancing my performance on the compound movements that are doing it. So it's an indirect benefit. My core routine usually consists of hanging leg raises, toes to bar and knee raises on my pull-up bar, and L-sits on my dip bars or on the gym rings depending on what's the most fun in the day. Then I do at the very end planks and side planks until complete failure. Also I do some other static holds like the hollow hold. I keep this intense but shorter. maybe 5 to 10 minutes in total at the end of my main workout, sometimes even shorter than that. And the real testosterone magic is happening anyways during the pull-ups and push-ups and squats, and the core work just makes sure I can keep progressing on those movements. Now here's how I structure my week, and this is key for consistency. I train 3 to 5 times per week, rotating through push, pull and leg days, but I have some rules that I implemented. For example, I pick whatever sounds most fun in that day. And I'm doing this because a fun workout means I can give it my absolute best. If I am forcing myself personally to do legs when I really want to do pull-ups, then my intensity drops. And remember, intensity is what actually triggers the hormonal response. My other rule that I implemented is that I have at least one rest day between the same muscle groups. So if I do pull-ups on Monday, then I don't do them on Tuesday. I do them again maybe on Wednesday if I really feel like it. And this maximizes recovery, which is when your body actually produces those hormonal adaptations. So my week might look like Monday I do pull-ups because I really feel like it. On Tuesday maybe I do push day. On Wednesday legs. Thursday I do either a pull day or maybe a push day. If I don't feel like doing anything, then I just do a rest day. On Friday I do pull-ups again if I didn't do them on Thursday. And then on Saturday maybe I do push day again. It depends on what I did the other day. And on Sunday, maybe I do a rest day or whatever I didn't do on those other days. I hope this makes sense. And it might be completely different the next week based on what I'm actually excited about doing. And the flexibility keeps me consistent, and consistency is what produces these long-term hormonal benefits. One study I found looked at men in their late 30s doing an 8-week high-intensity program, and the results? A 36.7% increase in testosterone with better hormonal balance. I'm 11 months in now, but looking back, I felt that energy shift at around week 6 to 8, and that matches exactly when these hormonal adaptations kick in according to the research. But here's the thing, and this is absolutely critical, it was not just the exercises. My whole routine actually supported hormone optimization. I walked 10,000 steps every single day, and this helped manage my cortisol and kept my metabolism high without overtraining. I ate 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight with a small 100 calorie deficit from food, and this supported muscle growth while losing fat. Consistent sleep. I prioritized 7 to 8 hours every single night, and this is huge because testosterone production peaks during your sleep time, and if you're not sleeping, you're sabotaging everything. Minimal alcohol during my transformation. Now, full transparency, I did drink on 3 to 4 occasions during these 11 months. Family birthdays, special events, something always comes up, but cutting back almost entirely probably had a real impact on my recovery and hormone productions. I was never a heavy drinker anyways, but even these few times a year instead of weekly drinking makes a huge difference, because alcohol is one of the biggest testosterone killers that is out there. Even moderate drinking can tank your levels and hurt recovery. The calisthenics were the catalyst, but the lifestyle made it stick. You can't outtrain a bad diet, poor sleep and excessive drinking. The hormonal benefits come from the complete package. And honestly, this holistic approach is why I felt so much better. It wasn't one thing, it was everything working together to optimize my body's natural system. So look, full transparency mode again. I never got my testosterone levels tested, and I do not have any before and after blood work that I could personally show you, but the energy boost and the confidence, the mental clarity, the physical transformations, all of this is undeniable. And when I researched why I felt so different, the science backed it up too. These 4 exercises, pull-ups, push-ups, squats and core work, combined with this training approach that keeps intensity maxed out by working backwards from impossible movements to failure, they are proven to optimize hormones naturally. If you are in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, it doesn't really matter how old you are feeling slower, less motivated, maybe you have lower energy, then you don't need supplements. You need to move your body in ways that work with your natural hormone production. You can start with these 4 exercises we've been talking about. Get a pull-up bar and some dip bars, that's minimal investment. Train 3 to 5 times per week and pick whatever muscle group sounds the most fun in that day. Then use the backward progression approach to keep intensity high, supported with good sleep, high protein, daily movement and cutting back on alcohol. Now, if you want the complete roadmap from absolute beginner to advanced, with month by month expectations and how I went from 0 to 10 pull-ups in 9 months at home, I made a full video breaking down my entire strength progression. The link is in the description below and it will also show up here on the screen in any moment now. Give it 8 weeks, that's when the hormonal adaptation kick in, and I believe you will discover the difference for yourself as well. Drop a comment below, are you going to try this training approach? And if this was helpful to you, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.